So I'm gonna get this out of the way. I knew the plot twist, unfortunately, and I knew that she was being spoilers, obviously, cheated on by her boyfriend. Like this movie blew up on TikTok a few years back, and I was just spoiled the hell out of for this movie. But I still did want to watch it. Watch it for myself, and I did enjoy it. I liked it. I didn't know any of the actors going in, so that was pretty cool. I didn't know basically anything about the movie except, like, the specifics of them, of the plot twist, unfortunately. Her boyfriend in the beginning is played by Mason Gooding. Uh, I know him from the Scream movies. Other people might know him from other stuff. But yeah, was very surprised to see him here. He dies pretty early on in the movie. Then we cut to 51 weeks later, and her dad's telling her, "Your boyfriend's a piece of shit. You need to move on." Just really shitty. It would be one thing, even then, he shouldn't be telling her how to handle her grief or what, but it would be one thing if he had broken up with her and he's telling her she needs to move on. But he fucking died. She watched him die. He didn't just die, she had to watch him die. And he's telling her that she has to move on. What a fucking prick. He's played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the guy that plays Negan. Even though I've never watched The Walking Dead, I will always know him as Negan. I don't know why. Maybe because that's just like a really popular role. I've seen him in one thing. I saw him in the Watchmen movie where he played the comedian, but I still will always think of him as a. I'll think of him as Negan. I've also seen him in Batman vs Superman, but that's barely a role. He shows up, maybe has one line of dialogue, then gets shot. Um, yeah, he has like 3 scenes in this movie. I wish we could have saw more of his character. Same with Mason Gooden. We only see him in like 3 scenes of the movie. This movie mainly focuses on the women, which is really cool. Because it's only like a few characters in the movie, and the 2 characters are women. Um, this might be a feminist movie. Like, I think it might be. Because every male character we see in this movie is a piece of shit. It's not that the women aren't, because the other woman, Hunter, she's not a nice person, but every man we see is a bad person. Mason's a bad person. The dad isn't the greatest person. Yeah, sure, like the daughter forgives him and wants to have a relationship with him at the end of the movie, but he still is not a good person. Um, and then obviously there's 2 other characters that I'll get to later. Um, so almost a year later, but not a year later yet, um, the dad had gotten contact with her friend Hunter and was worried that she might do something, you know, because it's coming up on the 1 year anniversary. He doesn't want her to be alone, and she's pushing him away, so he can't guarantee that she's going to have someone on the 1 year anniversary. That is very thoughtful of him. That is one thing I'll give him credit for, is him not wanting her to be alone on the 3 year anniversary. Still a piece of shit, though. um, so Hunter's fucking bright idea is to get her to climb something that's taller than the Eiffel Tower. She's not like taking her on a climbing trip again to help her get over her fears. She wants her to do one of the tallest things in the world. That is ridiculous. I get maybe wanting to help her with her fear so she doesn't fear heights, because it used to be something she thoroughly enjoyed, it looked like. Um but wanting her to do something that risky, especially since they literally say it's out of commission in the movie, and it being one of the super tall things, at least that's what they say in the movie. It's like one of the tallest fucking things in the world, and that is how you want her to get over her fear. That's fucking ridiculous. Um, she takes her to the tower. I thought it was obvious that she was cheating on her boyfriend. Even if I didn't know that, I probably would have figured it out. because we see a scene of her like happy, like we see a picture of her happy with a guy, and it's clearly Mason Gooding's hand on her shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, Hunter's got a boyfriend." Um, Hunter doesn't uh bring any food. I thought that was stupid. Like, I'm not expecting her to bring a 5 course meal, but if you're going traveling, you should bring food just in case you get hungry. Like, bring some granola bars, bring some beef jerky, bring some trail mix, just an assortment of food, and put it in your backpack even if you don't eat it. Like, I do that a lot when I go on trips. The rare times I do go on trips that isn't like going to the movies or something. Because I don't really like getting out of the house unless it's going to the movies or hanging out with a friend. I've never been a traveling guy, but when I do, I'll always bring some snacks, and half the time I won't even eat most of them. But that is something you should do. The movie's excuse is that they're gonna go have lunch after. That's just stupid. You're telling me they couldn't have at least brought one granola bar each? Speaking of another thing I thought was stupid, as far as we see, I'm pretty sure they only have one water bottle that they were sharing. That's kind of weird to me. One of my best friends I've known since grade school, I wouldn't share fucking a water with him. That's just weird to me. Sharing water. It's one thing to share food. You know, you can dump some food in a bowl and dump some food in your bowl and share it. Water is just gross. Okay. But they both drink out of it. Like, it makes sense later when it's like all they have. You know, they have to share it to drink it. But why would they only bring one water bottle to begin with, is what I want to know. Um, she proceeds to be a dick throughout this. Like, for one, we know that this thing is abandoned and out of commission, so why would you do this? She tries to scare her friend that she knows is traumatized of heights because she knows, you know this. You were there. Her fucking boyfriend died in front of her after falling off a cliff, and here you are jumping on the ladder, like shaking it and shit to scare her. You know why she's scared of heights. It's not her simply being scared of heights, which it would still be a dick thing to tease her about. You're teasing her about her being afraid of heights because her boyfriend died, basically. Like, what a dick move. um, Eventually, they make it to the top. She convinces her to do other over the top shit, like hang off the ledge. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, she already did what you wanted her to do. She already overcame her fear or whatever dumb shit you've been saying. Why are you doing this to her, you dick? You know, the ladder ends up breaking because she had fucked up the screws. So she's the whole reason they're up there to begin with. Basically. Like, they don't say that in the movie. It's never even said that. But, like, she's at fault. She fucking loosened the screws. Um, They dropped the backpack on like a satellite or something that's a bit far down, but not too far down since this thing is really, really tall. Um, so they end up trying to retrieve it eventually. They use a drone at one point. Like, that was literally something I first thought of when I saw the drone was, why don't they use a note and send the drone out to go send it to somebody? But the battery's almost dead by that point. So they decide to retrieve it for some reason. I thought that was kind of stupid. Uh, like, it still could have made it decently far out and someone might have noticed it, but I guess it's whatever. They try and use the drone later when they get the battery charged, and they fly way too low and a truck hits it. I immediately thought, why are you flying that low? A fucking car's gonna hit it. You literally said at that time of the day the hotel's gonna be busy. Why are you flying it that low? Just wow. Um, Another one of the things they try is putting their phone in a shoe, and they use a shoe and a sock. The and they have like a message ready to send, and they throw it down. It doesn't work. Later, a guy comes with his dog. They try and throw their shoes down to get his attention. Unfortunately, it doesn't get his attention. Um, Later, they see his RV and he's with somebody. They speculate if they're gay or not, which is kind of random, but I did want to mention that. They're just like, oh, they're definitely a couple. Well, late at night, they decide to use a flare. So they will see it. They do see it, but instead of helping them, it's a real gut punch. They steal their car. And that's what I meant by all the men in this movie that we see. The rare men we see are shitty. And yeah, the men steal her car when they are in need of help. They basically just left them to die. I wonder if she reports those people to the police after. Not that the police would do anything, but that's another story. They eventually get the water, and that is what leads to Hunter's death. It is not shown, but that is what leads to Hunter's death. She goes to get the water, but she ends up not being able to get pulled back up. And she falls to her death. But we don't see that. Because for the rest of the movie, she is dead and she's still here. Later, like I'd mentioned earlier about the charging thing, they do like some YouTube life hack that she knows to charge the drone. And Becky accidentally drops the backpack and Hunter doesn't catch it. She doesn't even attempt to. She's asked why she didn't attempt to catch it and she can't even respond. She just says, So that's another hint that she's dead. Later, Becky, Hunter tries to keep her awake by talking to her about WWE stuff, which I was really surprised about because I love WWE. Yeah, she's like, "Hey, name something you enjoy doing with your dad." And she's like, I liked watching wrestling with my dad." And she's like, "Name some wrestlers." And she names Stone Cold and Batista and The Rock and Cactus Jack. And she even names one of his alter egos, Mankind. She doesn't say Dude Love, though. I guess she's got no love for Dude Love. Um, Bad joke, but it's whatever. And that is when you get another hint. Like, Becky's like, "Wait, how would you know his alter ego is Mankind? You didn't watch WWE." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't." But when we finally get the full on, the movie spoon feeding it to us, what happened is when she asked her for her other shoe because we knew that she was wearing at least one shoe. She still had one shoe on. And she's told, "Hey, why don't you give me my shoe? Let's try the thing again, but with my phone." And she's like, "I can't." She's like, "What? Why can't you? You still have a shoe." And she's like, "Because I'm down there." I know that would have hit harder if I didn't know about the plot twist, but maybe I would have seen it coming when I watched the movie too. I don't know, because unfortunately I got it spoiled. Um, so, now for the rest of the movie, she's alone, which there isn't that much left in the movie. She ends up killing a vulture when the vulture tries to attack her because she's got an injured leg and it wants to eat her. And she kills it. It's fucking pretty brutal, too. And she kills it, eats it. She decides to use Hunter's body to make the phone thing work. I don't know if that would work. Like, I still think the phone would break, but that's just me. She puts the phone in a shoe and a sock, in Hunter's shoe and the sock, and then she shoves it inside of Hunter because she has like an injury in her side, and she shoves it inside of her and then pushes her off the satellite dish. Then we cut to her being safe. They try and do like a fake out, I think. where we see like a body bag. And I was like, obviously that's Hunter's. And, the dad starts crying a little bit because he thinks his daughter's dead. But no, she's still alive. The police got her. What I want to know is how they got her down. They hyped up that it was really, really high. So, how the hell did they get her down? Because not even a fire truck ladder would be able to get up there. How did they get her down? I want to know. That is just something that annoys me personally, is that we don't know how they got her down. Because she was really high up. How'd they do it? And I guess she's gonna rekindle her relationship with her dad, and the movie ends. And yeah, I think it's a decent movie. Um, Not too bad. I liked it.